Welcome back. In the last session, we spoke about Azure, right? Um, we understood what are the fundamentals and ethos of Azure, how does it work, how it is spanned across 54 different location and 150, 140 odd different countries. Now, before getting started, there is something called a SCAF. What is SCAF? Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework. It's a curated platform to help people like us in order to get started with Azure. If we are not aware how to get started, how to do the governance planning inception about Azure onboarding, you can do it with CAF. It is curated by Azure internal members and contributed by more than 2,000 members regularly. It is also prepared by, there's a lot of preparation being done by the customer's partner. So Azure works on a partner model just like any cloud. So whatever experience the partner services partner has gotten from their customer, based on the feedback from their customer, it is a rich base document and a strategy which kind of help us to get started with our Azure journey. So it all start with strategy, the motivation behind running things on workloads on cloud, whether you want to migrate something or you want to do some kind of innovation wherein you want to do the modernization of platform or digitization of your platform or your application. What's your motivation? Why do you want to get into cloud? Why Azure? Why not something else? You got to answer these questions, and then you get in the plan stage wherein you define how you're going to onboard your application, how many application or how many environments you want to have, if there are any skill gaps, if people needs to do certain certification, you got to get them ready, get them up to that speed. And then once you're ready, you've kind of prepared the people in terms of certification trainings, and all the content richness given by Azure. You kind of start adopting it, whether you want to decide whether you want to migrate, lift and shift certain application from on-premise or different cloud, or you want to innovate something wherein you want to deploy a mobile application, or you want to do some sort of data analysis on top of cloud. You're going to understand that. And then comes the fifth and sixth part wherein you govern and manage your operation on top of Azure. You define how many subscription you have, what's going to be the subscription size, how many resource group you're going to have, who's going to manage, is it going to be the DevOps team or the infrastructure team, and all. So there's a detailed, rich documentation given by Azure, which you can go through. However, I wanted to take you through a couple of tools which you can really be handy if you're somebody who are tech architect, business analyst, product owner, and you want to get started. You don't have any clue how you want to get started and what's your end goal. You kind of define it within some sort of tooling, and these tools I'm going to show you. So the first tool which I'm going to show is the cloud adoption framework template, which kind of helps you to define what's the motivation behind using our cloud strategy, what's the business outcome, and what's the high priority out of all the application and tech stack you want to use. What's the highest priority, which application or which workload you want to migrate first. You kind of define it first, and then medium and low priority. You define what are the success metrics, what's the time to market, what are the business drivers and key capabilities you have. Once you've defined that, you kind of decide whether you want to innovate, migrate, or kind of develop something new. And then you define the project key stakeholders, and who are going to be the owners of these stakeholders. Why do you do that? You do that, it's going to be a single pager document which going to be helpful for any member in the team, whether it's the somebody sitting at the CXO level, or somebody who is probably doing the sales, or probably somebody who is doing the tech analysis of your cloud governance. You could just have this one pager to understand what are the application workloads you're kind of migrating. So this is one such tool which you could use. I'm going to come back to my presentation and go to other such tools also. You could go to the benchmark tool. What I've done is I have answered bunch of question bases on my criteria. Could be your cost, governance, manage, could be anything, and it kind of tells you where you stand. If you kind of, this is your current state. So my current state is above the industry state. It's gonna tell you if your current state is more than industry state or not, and that's the industry benchmark, and that's the business priority. If it's below the business priority, it's kind of give you an amber or red sign, and then it gives you recommendation what you should be doing around cost management, resource consistency, baseline, identity deployment, and organization. It's going to give you entire blueprint where you kind of lack, how do you want to elevate, and what are the steps or best practices which is being taken up from different customers, client, and they kind of help us. You don't want to make mistake which has already been done by different client or company. This kind of tools and documentation kind of helps you to make sure to curb those, mitigate those risks, and bridge those gaps which we have between business and tech. Then you get the tech journey tracker, which kind of asks you again bunch of set of questions around plan governance ready, and gives you the best practices and recommendation to get started with your cloud journey. Not only that, if you go to the portal.azure.com, this is the landing page of your Azure, and you see bunch of option over here. Don't get intimidated by all the option which you see right over here. We have detailed session about different concept in Azure. What I want you to do, go to quick start over here, or you can start typing the quick start right here. And then what you could do is you could just start the Azure migration guide or the setup guide also. This is a detailed, rich content for curated for us, for business people or the tech people to get started and start a journey on cloud, whether you want to do the lift and shift or a mobile app or enterprise cloud modernization. I hope this was informative. I'm going to put all the links in the course material so that you can have a look. All right. I hope this was informative. Thank you.